What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Mountaineer Postgame Show presented by West Virginia on SI. I'm Schuyler, Callihan, live from the WVU Coliseum is Christopher Hall. West Virginia with another massive upset to add to that resume, taking down number 2 Iowa State 64-57. A look here at the numbers. Amani Hansberry, 12.6 rebounds. He buried 4 threes in this game, several big shots. Javon Small took him a little while to get going, but once he did, he was a tough stop for the Cyclones. He finished with 27 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Curtis Jones led the way for Iowa State with 18 points and 8 boards. Some of the team stats, an interesting one that just really is wild to look at here. Iowa State for the night shot 1 of 17 from three-point land. I believe they began the game 0 for 13. West Virginia 9 of 27. Only 21 free throws in this game between the two teams combined. But, Chris, to me, the difference in this game was the turnovers. Iowa State has been one of the better teams in the country this season, taking care of the ball. 14 turnovers tonight. West Virginia was able to make them pay on several occasions. Opening thoughts on this one. First of all, I'll give you your flowers. You're the more optimistic one of the two, because usually I'm the more optimistic, I would like to think. But you went on a limb. You picked the Mountaineers to win. I didn't. So hats off to you. You're back in the win column. I think you're only one game behind me in our predictions now. So there's that. But a tremendous night for West Virginia, for Jerry West, his family. Couldn't have scripted a better outcome.
Yeah, man, what an awesome atmosphere, and that's really, when you kind of look at this team throughout the season, all 3 of the ranked wins were away from the Coliseum. So with the students back, sold out crowd, you just had a feeling like, look, Mountaineer Magic's back, Coliseum's back. They're winning without Tucker. So just had a feeling. I didn't think it was going to be the defensive slobberknocker that we just witnessed here today, but thought it would be, some of the way that the role players with what's around Javon Small had played throughout the season in some of those big games. Kind of thought they would just step up, and I thought it would just kind of go back and forth offensively. But man, they both spent a lot of energy on the defensive end. Iowa State, they're a big physical team. They play very wide defensively, and West Virginia matched on the other end. So, you look at that Houston game and kind of how they attacked West Virginia defensively. Iowa State pretty much did the same thing. It was just like they learned. It's basically what happened. So, and maybe the crowd had a lot more to do with it as well. When you got over 14,000 people in here screaming for you to win the game, that's going to give you a lot of extra motivation. And you can't really say enough about Javon Small. What he did, 12 of the final 13 points in that last minute and a half, incredible. Kid has just put everything on the line every game for this team, and
he's the best player West Virginia's had since fill in the blank. Who would that be?
I mean, Deuce.
Deuce is pretty good. I don't know. I mean, Deuce was good, but I mean, holy moly, man! I mean, this guy is playing at an elite level.
They're all kind of different players, and under different systems. So, I would definitely rank Deuce up there, because Deuce could always just find he would pick his spot on the floor, get to it, and make the shot. He's doing that in the NBA right now. So
yeah, is Javon your big club player of the year?
He stays another year. We're probably talking Deuce even in a higher regard than what we do now. Javon wasn't even on the Naismith Wooden Award midseason watch list, which is absolutely crazy to me. None of the voters must have ESPN Plus. Apparently, they're not watching these games.
It's too expensive.
Because he's been incredible all season long. I think he's hit double figures every single game this season, and put up with 27 points. He did put up 31 against Gonzaga, put up 27 against Iowa State today. He's doing everything you need for this team to succeed. And what did he have assist-wise today? He only had 5 assists.
Yep.
So, he's finding guys, open guys, especially Monty Hansberry in that pick and pop. Again, he's doing everything that is asked of him and more at this point.
I mean, I think that the most impressive thing about him is every night the opposing team knows that that's where West Virginia wants the ball to go through, and that's everyone's focused defensively. They're going to try and double team him. They're going to try and trap him. They're going to try and play, keep away from him. Just getting the ball is a chore, and it was tonight in the first half. Iowa State did a really good job. But Darian DeVries, I've never seen a coaching job like this But before I get into the grander things of it, I mean, just the small adjustments in the game, and he talked about it in the post game interview with Tony on the radio. Is the offense just wasn't finding its flow offensively in the first half? They were trying to run certain things, they weren't really getting anywhere. Too much stagnance going on, and the ball didn't move. And the second half, they kind of switched it. They were going a lot of two-man offense. They're trying to get downhill with Javon Small, get downhill with Joseph Yesufu, and it worked. And this, to me, is one of the biggest things that I've taken away from this game and really the first half of the season is if you feel like you've got West Virginia figured out, you're wrong. Guess again, because Darian DeVries is going to find a way, even when he doesn't have all of the pieces really needed to go out and do what he's been doing. He's finding ways every single night, and it looks different every single night. It's not the same recipe. It's not the same path to how they get to these wins.
Yeah, I mean, really, when you look at the second half, they had 15 fast break points, so they were just running.
Yeah,
You
which is
could see
not
him.
their
You could
style.
see him in the first half. I had a good view of him from under the basket in the first half, and trying to get the players to run. After a defensive rebound, they kept wanting to slow it up. They started running in the second half, and I think that really was the difference. 7 steals, get 15 fast break points, you get those points off turnovers there in the second half, and it really put more pressure on Iowa State team that basically was struggling offensively because of West Virginia's defensive pressure. They really clogged up the paint, even though they still got, I think, it was 40 points in the paint. That's where they got a lot of the steals. As soon as they put the ball on the ground, they were digging and fighting for that ball. And to me, that was the bigger difference of the game. Yes, Iowa State shot 1 of 17 from 3-point range, and they missed some open looks, but they closed out. And I know
Yeah,
we've talked about here on quite a few times, like, look, where was the closeout? They wasn't a hand in a guy's face. They weren't doing anything
and you
around
know
the
what they did?
perimeter, and they did it today.
And you know what they did differently this game that they didn't do in Houston is they fought over top of the screen. They didn't slip underneath, and that was a
Yep.
major difference. I watched that very intensely tonight. I was like, I want to see how many times they actually go underneath. And I don't know. They may have done it once. I think they fought over top of it every time. But and I try not to get too ahead of myself in terms of expectations or touting somebody up. I'm very, very reserved in that sense. But Chris, I mean, sometimes you just got to admit it. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen a start to a career coaching wise than what we've seen from Darren DeVries. 13-4, 4-2 in Big 12 play, four top 25 wins, three of which came against top 10 teams. I mean, this is unprecedented what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, you probably go to Jerome Tang at Kansas State, his first
Yeah.
season.
But I mean, at West Virginia,
They're
certainly.
struggling right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it took a while for Beeline. Huggins kind of, he inherited what Beeline had, so he would really have to go back in the books there to try to figure that one out to see where they were at and where coaches took over. But yeah, it's been an incredible job. We got 14 fresh new faces on this team, and they came together quickly, and they keep continuing to get better. Like you said, you think you have this team figured out, and then they do something else.
Yeah.
So it's really, yeah, it's a credit to DeVries for sure, but you got to give up most of the credit to the players because they bought in, and when you buy in and everyone believes, and you just listen to the coaching, good things happen. How many times have we said that? It's like just got to buy in, just play hard, buy in, and good things will happen. And right now, West Virginia is looking really good, staying in pace. Yes, they're still 2 games back from the regular season standings, but you want that. It's the top 4 teams that get a bye still. I
I
don't
think
know.
so.
I don't even know
They've
how
changed
many.
it like 10
I don't know
times.
how many teams are even going into the tournament at this
Yeah.
point. So you definitely want to stay in that top 4 in the race, and I think there's still 3 undefeated teams in this league right now. So long way to
That
go.
won't last much longer.
Very long way to go. Hopefully, the injury bug is over with. And speaking of that, KJ Tenner comes back in line today.
Yeah.
Only a little under 10 minutes, gets 3 steals. No points, 3 steals. Huge, huge effort on his part after coming back from injury. Joseph Yesufu, that last little run they went on, that 10-2 run there in the final 5, that 5 3-minute stretch somewhere around there. Kind of started, hit a tough contested layup there on the right side, but he's hit some tough baskets when West Virginia needed him, did it at Colorado last week as well. So there's the stat, like, to me, Jonathan Powell tonight had some big shots. I thought he had more than 9 points. Like
Yeah, it
it seemed
felt
like
like it.
he had more points. But Hansberry had more points. It's just a lot of these guys come up in big moments. You don't realize. You look at the box score; they don't have a lot of points, but some of those buckets they make came in very, very
Very
key
timely.
situations.
Yeah, I mean, when I look up and down this roster, I mean, like it's not obviously a very long list. You're talking about really an 8-man rotation, kind of a 7-man, and I think this is what makes West Virginia so good is these guys stay within themselves in that they don't try to do something that they're not. And that's something that we've heard Bob Huggins talk about how many years. Like you've got guys trying to do something that they're not very good at just because they want to show off for the NBA scouts or they want to do whatever they can to try and get the win. But sometimes you're hurting yourself and you're hurting your team if you're playing outside of your game. Sincere Harris, he knows he's not a great 3-point shooter. He can put one up every now and then, but his main job is to lock someone down on the other end. Toby Akani, same kind of thing. He's probably a little bit more of a 3-point shooter, not much, but he can give you a little bit more offensively. But defensively, he's going to be up in your grill, and he's kind of that versatile swing guy that can really guard. I mean, 1 through 5, really. I mean, if you're more comfortable 1 through 4, but um, or 2 through 5, I mean, but I mean, you talk about those two guys defensively, Javon Small offensively, he's doing his thing. Amani Hansberry, he can pick and pop every now and then, but it just feels like these guys live in their roles and they don't try to do anything extra. And that's what makes this team special. So it's a great win, great way to honor the legendary Jerry West on Jerry West Day. The Mountaineers getting the win 64-57. Again, improving to 13-4 on the year and 4-2 in Big 12 play. That'll do it for us tonight on the Mountaineer Postgame Show presented by West Virginia on SI. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, give us a like, and give us a follow on X at SI_WVU. We'll be back tomorrow with an episode of Between the Years. For Christopher Hall, I'm Schuyler. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow morning.